In this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can improve your students' writing today. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Charlie's Lessons, and thank you for coming by to watch another video. So we're going to see 5 tools here that are going to help your students improve their writing in no time. And one of them is with Duolingo. So there's a lot of teachers out there who get really frustrated with their students' writing after they correct it time after time after time and keep getting the same results. Let's see if Pedro's done any better this time. Okay, well that's obviously the wrong word. No, that's the wrong tense. I don't know, what does that mean? Okay, I didn't even understand a word of that paragraph. What does this even say here? Oh, these aren't in my glasses. I don't even wear glasses. Moving on, I want to borrow the words of Donald Murray, the great American journalist and English teacher, taught his students that when it comes to writing, it's all about the process and not so much the product. Donald Murray talks about 3 stages for any writing activity that your students do in class. The first one is pre-writing, then drafting, and then finally writing. I want to give students the tools that are going to help them during those writing and drafting stages. And the final thing I want to focus on from Donald Murray is that we need to place the opportunity of discovery in the student's hands. Just think about it like this. You're their teacher now, but you're not going to be around forever. So I just think about the old adage, you can take a fish to water, but you can't make it swim. That's not the phrase. What is it? My first tip is to never take in the student's first piece of work and correct it all yourself. That way the student doesn't really learn what their mistakes were or how to correct them. That's why I suggest using a correction code. So take the student's first draft in and apply the correction code to all the errors the students have made. You then give it back to the students and the students have to write it up again, correcting all the mistakes that you've identified. If you keep doing this, over time, the students will improve. Now, if your students are submitting their work digitally, then you need to tell them about this Duolingo tool called Text Analyzer. All you do is take the text that they have written and put it into the box. Duolingo then comes up with a guide level, and on the right-hand side, it identifies which words meet an A1 level, an A2 level, B1 level, etc. What they can do is they can exchange the lower level words for higher level words. Idea number 3 is using the English vocabulary profile online. Whereas with idea 2, we were looking at the text as a whole, with idea 3, we can identify individual words and find out what level they are. So to do this, we just enter on the website and we pop in a word in the search bar, and it will give us a list of all the different meanings of this word and what level they are associated with. Idea number 4 is an online tool called ozdic.com. This is an online dictionary where students can input nouns and get a range of verbs, adjectives, prepositions that collocate with that noun. Now, I know that students hate the concept of collocation because it's one of those things that where teachers have to answer a question about that, all they say to the students is, that's just the way it is. So with this dictionary, students can begin to discover what collocations are typical in English and which aren't. So let's take a look at an example text and I'll show you how I can switch out some lower level words with higher level words to increase the global level of the work. I'm going to show you how we use these 3 examples to improve our students' work. This is a piece of work that was submitted to me on Google Docs. I do receive a lot of writings though on paper, so you can still apply these ideas to if you receive it digitally or traditionally. I'm going to just copy this entire text, go over to Duolingo and paste it here. The guide level is a B1, but I'm more interested in what I can see on the right hand side. I'm looking at the ones that are associated with A1 and I feel like there's some improvements that could be made there. Let's look at the example for big is typically an A1 level word. And I know this because I can type big into the English vocabulary profile online and check the level here. So what adjectives could we replace big with? I can search for synonyms for big on Google. And here I have a number of different options. Let's take the word large or even huge. Let's put large into the English vocabulary profile and we can already see that it's an A2 level, which is 1 higher than big. or even huge, which is a B1, so 2 levels higher. Let's swap out big for huge, and we can see on the right hand side that the number of A1 words have dropped and a number of B1 words have risen. Again, looking at adjectives, here, he is very good. We can swap out good for a synonym. Go back to Google with synonyms for good, and let's find one that fits the text. Let's use the word exceptional, for example. Let's pop it into the English vocabulary profile, and we can see that exceptional is a B2 word. Let's replace good with exceptional, and we can see now that it's risen again. Now, using a correction code with my students' work, I probably would have identified put a table as WW, or wrong word. Now, the students can use table and use the OSDIC website to check collocations with table. Now, we're looking for a verb here, and here we have to lay or to set the table, which is the verb the student's looking for. I've put lay into the English vocabulary profile online, and the phrase lay the table is a B1. So let's change put for lay, and again on the right hand side we can see that it's gone up again. So just by making those small changes to the students' work, we've already increased the level. Once you've taught your students how to use these 3 tools, they'll be expert writers in no time. And that's a Charlie's Lessons guarantee. Once your students have got used to using the Duolingo text analyzer and also the English Vocabulary Profile Online tool, you can then begin to test them on this new vocabulary, which is of a higher level. To do this, you could use tools like Lookit, or Kahoot, or quizzes. Idea number 5 is having the students collaborate on a writing task. And so each student can share their knowledge on new grammatical structures, new vocabulary, and also ideas on how to organize the writing itself. If you're unsure about how to get your students set up with collaborative tasks in the classroom, then you should probably go ahead and watch my other video on collaborative activities using programs like Canva, Google Docs, and much more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope this tool can help your students when it comes to writing. Again, if you found this video useful, then please subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.